Yo, what's up, guys? It's Aquagan. I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing the cards that I would like to see, or the buddies that I want to see get a rebeat in the brand new Revival Buddies set, which we don't have a release date for yet. Some of these buddies are already revealed because I made the video a little late. Just had a little problem with recording it and editing it and stuff. So some of the cards are already revealed, and those are the ones that we're going to be going over first today. So first we have Leyva Teen. Leyva Teen is one of my favorite decks of all time. It's just really unique and really cool. Keisetsu was really awesome in the anime. And I would like to see the Re-B card have some kind of protection. This way it can't be countered by Vanity or Time Dragons. I think that out of all the buddies that I put here, I think that Laeateinn or Oni Assassins have the most potential to come back into the meta and have some potential to survive against other ace decks because Laeateinn is just missing protection and Ibuki has a lot of outdated cards because a lot of them revolve around damage. But yeah, Laeateenn's my first. Second here we have Oni Assassins or Kitabuki that I just talked about. I think that the new Ibuki should have a way to stack some more souls, and I think that we should get some support for Onis. I think Onis are really in need of support because of just the outdated cards in the actual set. Uh, so next here we have Silhouette Joe. Silhouette Joe is another one that has already been confirmed. Silhouette Joe is a problem right now where its entire ability just revolves around dealing damage to your opponent, which is really outdated. You could tell by Imperial Core. Imperial Core is it doesn't really work against too many decks because most decks have anti-damage or reducing damage, which is the same problem with Silhouette Joe. The only time that you would ever see Silhouette Joe getting played in today's day and age is when you're playing Shadow Shade Lost, because Shadow Shade is one of the best decks in the game when it comes to draw power. They just draw a lot. They have a lot of soul. They're pretty defensive, but yeah, right. They definitely need an upgrade, and Silhouette Joe is just a cool buddy monster, cool card in general. So for our third buddy, we have Shadow Dragon. Shadow Dragon is definitely a buddy that I'd want to see. Shadow Dragon is a really cool deck. It's really unique, like Leyva Teen, where you just have multiple Shadow Dragon in the drop zone, and you could boost the powers of your Shadow Dragons. We've seen Shadow Dragons get updates after their initial release. We got a couple cards for them that made them better, but Shadow Dragon also has the same problem when it comes against cards like Vanity or Time Dragons, which is okay because back in X we didn't have Time Dragons or Vanity that just take everything off the field or put it on the bottom of your deck, which is kind of ridiculous. It's sad power creeping, but it's whatever. I don't really know what the Shadow Dragon Re-B would be, like what the card's abilities would be. I just think that we should get one because the deck is outdated and forgotten, and it doesn't even have too many cards. Kind of like how doesn't have that many cards. But this is kind of like DVD, where it's one not really one of the best decks in its series. It's one of the weaker decks in its actual series, but with certain updates or upgrades, it could be a lot better. So for our next card, we have Yami Gitsune. Yami Gitsune is just kind of like a wild card that I just threw in there. I really like Skull Warriors, and I think that they definitely need updates because they're just forgotten. And I think Yami Gitsune deserves a rebeat because he's one of the most iconic buddies from season one. He's definitely one of my favorites from season one, and we already got rebees for cards like Asmodai and Tsukikage. So I think Yami Gitsune needs one too. We just got the confirmed rebee for Drum and Jackknife. So if Yami Gitsune gets one, I wouldn't be super surprised. So next with season one, we have El Quixote. I put the El Quixote dungeon artwork here from Dungeon World. I would rather see the Dragon World reboot. This way it could coincide with the new Shinsagumi deck, I think would be really good. But if they did a not Dungeon Dragon, Dungeon World rebe of El Quixote, I wouldn't be too surprised because that's kind of where Dragon Knight's headed towards the end of the series. Not the end, the end of the playstyle for the deck was in Dungeon World. They just switched over from Dragon to Dungeon, which I don't really understand. But now that Shinsagumi's back, I could definitely see this card being in Dragon World. and it could be like a really good size 1 that you would throw in the center that could give some stat boosts, or could maybe have an ability where the cards can't leave the field by opponent's card effects. I know that's what I ask for every Rebi, which is kind of ridiculous. But El Quixote could definitely use it because the Shinsegumi that we already got from the newest set, the item is really good. The Kondo, who's on the right, and I forgot the name of the other one, the other size one that's on the left, he's really good. And the center is just kind of lacking a little, which is understandable because the deck is more offensive than defensive. But if we get a really good El Quixote Rebi, Shinsegumi could definitely become one of the better decks in the game. So next we have one of my personal favorite buddies. All these are some of my favorites, but we have Shadow Hero Schwarz. Shadow Hero Schwarz is a really cool buddy. He's definitely one of my favorites. Um, sorry. Yeah, Shadow Hero Schwarz. Dark Heroes just haven't really been used, obviously, because they're from Season 2. We could also see a Mukuro Rebi. I would understand that happening if we don't already have one, sorry, but I know Mukuro just got an impact monster in the newest set with Gem Clone. But I'd want to see Shadow Hero Schwarz. I think that a lot of the Dark Heroes have abilities where it comes to destroying opponents' monsters by card effects, which is like really outdated. So out of all the decks here, if Shadow Hero Schwarz did get a Rebi, he'd be one of the cards that would actually need other support to go along with it. Like Leyva Teen could kind of just get the one Rebi and then it's good, it's like viable, but Dark Heroes would definitely need 3 or 4 cards for it to be genuinely usable. Next we have Miserea. Miserea is a really cool deck. I never really played it before. I played pretty much almost every deck here except Miserea, but Miserea is just a cool card. It has a lot of support in the game. There are a lot of different playstyles. You could play it with just Miserea. You could play it with the other Omni Lords. You could just run Overturn Miserea and focus your deck on drawing Overturn Miserea, pop him, and that's game over. I hate Overturn Miserea. He's really good. But this would definitely be good to see. I'd be happy with the Rebi of Miserea. I wouldn't be that surprised. Or Ice Blade Joker would be good too. I just think that Ice Blade Joker is like a dead playstyle compared to Miserea. Miserea is, I think he was an X, while Ice Blade Joker and the other Jokers just haven't really been used as much. But I think they did go to Dungeon World actually. My bad. So we could see a Rebi of him too. Actually, that I think that would be more likely, but I would rather see a Miseria, I guess, or maybe just a Joker that lets you draw some more cards. It lets you search for a Miseria, put it in the hand. That'd be pretty good. Next we have Demios. Purgatory Knights are one of my favorite decks in the game. I put the Darkness Dragon World Demios here because that's my favorite playstyle. I never really played them when they went over to Dragon World / Darkness Dragon, but it's definitely probable that we see that we see a dragon / darkness dragon Demios. Uh, I think that the deck definitely needs a couple other cards to make it more viable. Um, just like it's really outdated, and even in X they weren't too insane. They were like okay, but I would really want to see a Rebi for Demios. I just like Purgatory Knights, think they're cool, but they would definitely need 4 cards, 3 cards to make them decent, comparable to Ace, because Ace, the power creeping from X to Ace is ridiculous, honestly. Because back in X, it was just like a lot of attacks, and cards like Plagues went crazy. Destroying opponents' cards was a big thing. But now that we're in Ace, it's just throw the cards off the field, or attack 50 times in a turn, or God Punks, take away all your opponent's gauge, give them back all their gauge, but then take it away, make them discard all their hand cards. Uh, what else is an ace? That's insane. Max Dragons can have 90,000 defense with the size 6. You could call the size 6 first turn. Um, Astros call a billion times, but that's my ace rant. Well, I'll talk about that some other time. So for the final one, we have Decker Drum. Decker Drum is probably my favorite on this list. Maybe it's like maybe, but Decker Drum. I remember I played that deck back in season 2. I kept buying the booster where they had Decker Drum and Schwarz, and those were like 2 of my favorite decks of all time. Rescue Dragons are awesome in my opinion. I really like Rescue Dragons. Um, I could definitely see Drum this because I think he already has the effect where you destroy an opponent's monster, he restands. I think that would be good. You could maybe buff his stats a little, give him a new item, and I think that the new Buster form or whatever it's called, the thing that came out, it has Gal in the artwork and it's in the new Gem Clone set. It's a impact monster and you could transform into it. I think that would actually be really cool with this deck. I think that because they'd combo really well because the impact monster can have 6 critical if you're transformed into it and opponent has no cards in the field. So that and Decker Drum just go off together. Or you can make another one where you could focus on link attacks, but that's kind of more of a Sun Dragon thing. So yeah, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. Peace.